of its fair share of Syrian refugees. But what percentage has the UK taken? Is it 18, 48 or 88%? Find out after the break.
Sky Fibre Max.
Who's Max? I'm Batman.
An exclusive deal for our TV customers at just £35 a month, including line rental for 18 months. It's super fast with UK average speeds of 60 megabits.
That was on purpose.
And it's super unlimited.
That is awesome.
So grab Sky Fibre Max for £35 a month, including line rental. Search Sky Fibre Max. Sky. Believe in better.
Did you pick up your pencil case?
Mum, there's no hot water again.
Oh, great. The boiler's on the blink again. Can't afford to get it fixed until payday. What am I going to do? Quick, think. Okay, you'll have to smell today, but I'll get someone out later to look at it.
Restore some order with a short-term loan from Quickquid. Find out more at quickquid.co.uk.
Who's the chaser today?
Beat the Chaser for a chance to win £5,000 in our weekly final chase games. And a chance to play along with the Chaser at an exclusive quiz night. Play happy at carlabingo.com.
This Valentine's Day, all hail Snuggle Muffin. This year, his weapon is movie. And now, order 24 red roses and get £10 off. Delivered by courier for free. You've got this, Snuggle Muffin.
Mailcake.com.
Just brilliant. Churchy, I really don't have time for this.
Oh, no.
I've got a wax at 12, my MOT at 3, then I'm off for a drive with that 4x4 up the road. Here he comes. What a dreamboat.
Oh,
Don't get caught out when you break down. Churchill offers free breakdown cover to new motor customers.
oh, yes.
Oh, Churchy, my knight in furry armour. Churchill, depend on the dog.
The builders saved on their energy bills. The Strutters saved on their car insurance. But who is the most epic?
So I'm ready to attack, gonna lead the fight, gonna get the fight down, gonna take it. That's right, put your pom-poms down, getting everybody fired up. Few times I've been around that track, so it's not to go.
Strutters, builders, your so money supermarket.
They say 500,000 people watch the Boston Marathon here in New England.
$2. We're gonna find these guys before they do this to someone else.
Every inch of this city is getting searched.
All units be on alert.
Stop firing units out here!
There's only one weapon you have to fight back with. I don't think there's any way that they can win. Patriots Day.
I'm back doing what I love, back on the ships. It's massive.
From Scotland
I've come to Muscle Farm. I'm getting tonight's tea.
to the Caribbean,
That's fantastic.
Jane McDonald's proving you don't have to be posh to get on board. Cruising with Jane McDonald. Starts Friday at 9 on Channel 5.
So according to Oxfam, Canada's taken 248% of its fair share of Syrian refugees. But what percentage has the UK taken? The answer is 18%.
Welcome back to the Thursday Show with Dominic Holland, Lowry Turner and Raymond Chishley. In a little while we're asking if the things we hate are the things that bring us closer together than the things we love. Which may send 1735555 is the number of my ex-wife for you to use. Your thoughts on this dating app that matches lovers by their mutual loathings. first, though, we're asking what you made of the government's U-turn last night and last year's pledge to take in child refugees from Syria. Because yesterday, Theresa May quietly closed the door on former PM David Cameron's frankly woolly pledge to take in an unspecified number of unaccompanied kids from refugee camps across Europe. And in the end, just 350 Syrian children were taken in, a tenth of the 3,000 campaigners had hoped for. The council's stretch, we just talked about in the papers, can you blame them for saying no? David Cameron gave the impression the UK would step up to the plate following widespread public anger at his apparent reticence to do anything to upset the rabidly anti-migrant Daily Mail, despite MPs voting to bomb Syria in December 2015. The Labour peer, Lord Dubs, a Jewish refugee saved from almost certain death by caring Brits ahead of World War II, took in 10,000 Jewish children then. Well, he called on MPs to do more for these Syrian kids, but his original demand to take in 3,000 kids was defeated by MPs who agreed instead to take in an unspecified number. But I would suggest the waters were muddied further by claims ministers had indeed told councils to prepare homes for 3,000. The trouble is, councils struggling to provide basic services, care, bin collections. Can you blame them for closing the door, or in doing so, do we now look no better than President Donald Trump, who of course outraged the world by saying he wanted to send refugees home to a brutal civil war? Do we not have a duty of care to these children, many of whom have been forced from their homes and their country by UK bombing raids against Daesh, raids that cost us hundreds of millions of pounds? We can find the cash for bombs again, Ray, but we can't seem to get it together to help those we're affecting.
Look, Matthew, nobody ever wants to make a decision where you can't help the most vulnerable and disadvantaged in society. But what I would say is we're giving 2.2 billion in aid. We are the
biggest benefactor outside the US, I believe.
And also what I would say is in 2011 and 2014, I said in 2011 to William Hague, on the floor of the House, what about creating safe havens on the border of Syria and Turkey? Nobody wants to leave their home. They want to be in a safe environment where they can go back to their homes when the conflict is over. Nobody ever wanted to do it around the world. There was no will. And then when you then interfere in another country trying to bring about a change in government, then you have mass exodus of people, then we have a moral responsibility to do our bit to help the most vulnerable.
Is 350 enough?
But what I would say is not...
Is it enough?
It's not just 350. It's not. Can I just say this?
Unaccompanied children.
I would say 700 also are the ones who've come under a different scheme to join their families over here.
1,000, is that enough?
I would say...
Well, there are 4.5 million
you can't answer that question because clearly it isn't enough, but there are 90,000 children in Europe. So 3,000 is an arbitrary figure plucked from the air. Ideally, we could take more. If the councils are... If there are insufficient places, I mean, Nicola Sturgeon didn't take a kid, nor did Bob Geldof. I think it's also worth pointing out we're very good at beating ourselves up in this country. We're very good at prostrating ourselves and
very good at launching wars.
Well, that's a civil war, Matthew, as well.
It's a war that we have unveiled ourselves in. We drop bombs on Syria, and then we don't care for the people we displace.
And I'll tell you who also doesn't care for the people displaced. All of the Gulf states haven't taken a single refugee. Kuwait, Qatar haven't taken a single refugee.
It doesn't make it right, of course.
It doesn't make it right, but we are far better. We are a far better example to the Gulf states by taking what we've done, contributing this money. How much money is contributed by the Gulf states to this crisis? So I agree with
there is this argument, or at least there is a feeling I get that we're very good perhaps at splitting the money over there. We can find the money for the bombs, we can find the money to keep them over there, but what we're not very good at in this particular instance, certainly compared to in the situation in the Balkans where I think we took in 200,000 refugees and the 10,000 children during the head of World War II.
At all, that this country is not good at absorbing people from
I think we have been
areas.
good.
I think we are good compared to our fellow states.
The elephant in the room is the word children, of course. The problem with this policy is that when the children arrive, the ones that were in the media certainly didn't look like children. That's the problem for Theresa May, is it not? That's why she's had to quietly cancel
by looking, can't you?
Well, Matthew, some of them look jolly old to me. I mean, you know,
saw what?
there's a bit of common sense.
Headlines.
If people, and there will be people who chuck away their travel documents to conceal both where they come from and their age, and then say, well, I'm 14, and actually they look about 25.
Let's not forget, of course, you're a child of 17. I was at school with an Italian accent who was shaving at 11. Okay, he was 6 foot at 12. 6 foot and shaving at 12. Right? That's not what
quite
I
rare.
look like.
It's quite
Might be
rare.
quite rare, but it happens.
It
You
does.
can't discriminate
No, I
people
know.
based on
No,
what they look
no,
like.
But we can't be taken for a ride either.
Yeah, but 350 when we found hundreds of millions of pounds worth of bombs we dropped on Syria and
The
Iraq.
most heart-rending thing I read was talking to kids who looked like kids. There are plenty of kids who looked like kids who didn't get to the front of the queue.
Well, now none of them are going to get any help.
They got pushed out the
But
way.
now none of them are going to get any help. He says that, can we not find the money or the locations or the foster parents?
I don't see why we can't actually help the ones who genuinely need helping. There must be a way. Why was it that maybe there were lots of children we didn't see, but the ones we did see did not, to me, look like children.
But also, Matthew, the other position is this. They're talking about 300 at the moment, but we said we were taking 20,000 Syrian refugees over the next 5 years. We're partway through that. We've taken around 4,400 at the moment, families. If you then look at the
9,000 I'm seeing.
Yeah. So if you then look at the 700 children who've come in through the other route to join their families over here. So I would say in totality, have we played our part in helping the most vulnerable with aid and contribution and taking people in?
Canada's taken in 249% of it. It's the Oxfam's view on what each country should take in terms of wealth, space. Canada's taken over 240%. We've taken in 18%.
But in terms of space of Canada to the United Kingdom is a different scenario.
But that's, as I said, that's what Oxfam did.
Right.
So they've accounted for that. 18% we've taken in of what they felt, Oxfam, that we could absorb.
Well, look, I think whatever the situation is, people say it's difficult
to be honest, for me, the issue is, if we weren't actively bombing their country, I'd shut up now. But we are actively bombing their country. And I think that carries a huge responsibility on every one of us.
Well, Matthew, when this first happened, I wrote an article to say if you intervene in another part of the world, then you have a moral obligation to address the consequences.
Yeah.
I wrote that, and that's why when the issue came about taking in 20,000, I said we should take it because we are involved in Syria. And so we have a moral obligation. But at the same time, you've got to balance that to what you were saying earlier about dealing with the homelessness, in terms of social care, in terms of resource for local authorities.
Afford, HS2 we might not be able to afford. There's 100 billion at the government's figures. There's 250 billion at critics' figures. 250 billion pounds on two projects, one of which will probably never see the light of day. It will just be out on somebody who will never know about it.
But I think
the other is a railway no one will be able to afford to travel on. That I'll be dead by the time it opens.
Well, I think if you looked at infrastructure, do I think we need infrastructure to get more jobs and opportunities in the country? The answer is yes. But do I think there is an argument for both on both sides to be made on high speed? Yeah, you're right. There is an argument to be made on both sides.
This way over to you.
Kevin on line 1.
Morning, Kevin. What do you say?
Good morning.
Morning.
Matthew, this is like deja vu. If you go into Liverpool Street Station in London, you'll see a beautiful statue of two Jewish children where they were brought in from the kinder transport. And you wouldn't believe that 70, 80 years later we were doing the same thing again. And turning people away. One of the worries I've got is the charities are pointing out that when they return to these refugee camps, etc., they're finding a lot of these children are missing. And they're worried about them going into human trafficking and into the sex trade. We can't abandon these children, and they are children.
But Kevin, we can't afford to care for our own elderly. The council haven't got any money. Or so we're told they haven't got any money. How do you address that situation?
Well, you very wisely commented how much we could have find money for bombs. I'm sorry, but if we can find money for bombs, we can find money just to feed a few children, for God's sake.
Okay, Kevin, forgive me, I've got loads more calls, so a few minutes. So.
We've got Mike on line 3.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Very impassioned plea from Kevin there. What do you say, sir?
I would say yes, but I see, and it was ironic that you have a studio, I wouldn't say full, but one of Laurie's, one of our articles in the paper was the right stuff audience. Perhaps you wouldn't have an audience if these people in your audience, the homeless in your audience, were afforded accommodation. So that's one point. But basically, that's basically what I wanted to say. That perhaps we have tens, if not hundreds of thousands of homeless people in the UK as we speak, sleeping on frozen doorways.
But Mike, perhaps more germane.
Could I finish, please? Could I finish? Perhaps as you walk past them, you might turn to them and say, "Look, you're going to have to stay on in the frozen doorway because we're going to bring Syrian refugees, and they're going to be...
Mike, now with respect, just hear me out for a moment. The argument I'll give you back is, unlike with the homeless, we are actively spending hundreds of millions of pounds bombing these people's homes, right? We are not doing that to the homeless. In some cases, they may be there on the streets through other fault or their own fault. I don't know. But I do know we can find the money to bomb their country, but we can't find it to look after the people we displace.
Yes, my point about that is it's not the homeless people in this country's
Can we just park the homeless for a moment?
Homeless people in this country's fault that we're bombing them. So let's look after our own first. And
but hang on, Mike.
If there's accommodation,
the money that goes to the bombs, right? There's money going on bombs. You cannot negate that from this argument, right? We made a parliamentary decision to bomb their country.
Of course you can negate that.
And that
you can't blame the people, the homeless people in this country for this.
It's just not moving on from the homeless. I was talking about the Syrian children. You bomb them, their homes go. Do we not have to look after them, Mike? I'll have to leave that question hanging in the air. We're going to have a quick one after the break. We're asking if the things we hate, you might like this one, previous caller, if the things we hate bring us closer together than the things we love. Have a think about how maybe you got together with your partner and give us a call. 027 173 5555 is the number for your stories, and we'll hear them after a few more ads.
Which of these dislikes is the favourite of users of the hated dating app? Is it the ski